Welcome back to Higher Density Living. You are here with Jason and Alexander, and we are going through creational laws again. It's been over a year and a half since we last talked about it.
What are you wearing, Alexander?
Oh, I'm wearing this like super badass t-shirt printed by a not-for-profit called Higher Density Living, and you can get this right off their brand new store on the website, awesome. Which goes to support the 501c3 nonprofit. And I think
it's got a cool logo on the back.
It's got the logo on the back.
HigherDensityLiving.com.
How many different shirt designs we have on there?
102 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot. And we get the best sellers out there. We'll whittle some down, in any episode.
Yeah, the ones that don't sell, we'll get rid of them.
Yeah, if I can buy, don't need you there anymore. We don't want to create confusion,
No confusion.
So we're going into the eighth law.
This is a serious heavy-duty law.
And if you're wondering where these come from, listen to the last episode.
This is the law of Squid Games.
Very popular show.
Yes. Did you watch it?
No.
You didn't watch Squid Games?
No. Do you watch The Citadel?
No.
Yeah, see? All right, there we go.
I haven't even watched the Apple show that everybody talks about.
What?
The soccer guy.
Ted Lasso?
Funny. Yeah.
That's a good show.
I haven't watched it yet. I know I want to watch it, but I just haven't.
Yeah. That's a good show.
Yeah, best shows I've seen here lately is White Lotus or whatever that's called, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Uh-huh.
I really liked it because there's a lot of spiritual symbolism.
Yeah.
And it shows the ego like playing out constantly.
Yeah.
So that was a great show. What's the last memorable show you've watched?
Zaboomafoo?
Zaboomafoo? That little guy? That's like a cartoon from kids or something.
Zaboomafoo is
That's like a...
two guys that lived in the tree house with all the animals.
Yeah.
In the jungle.
Yeah.
And then,
I remember that.
No, but most memorable show?
That you've watched here lately that you could recommend to somebody.
Yeah. See, this is the problem. It doesn't just come to like...
At our place, because I can't say house, they're watching House.
House?
Like my girlfriend and her daughter.
Like
Isn't that a show?
Doctor show?
Yeah, doctor show, yeah. They're rewatching that over and over again. It doesn't seem interesting to me. But
no, the show sucks.
It seems like typical like General Hospital, like
it's like what a drag.
Basic.
Oh, you know what I've been watching, which is memorable for me? Drive to Survive. Formula One.
Oh yeah, I heard that's really, really good.
It's dramatic.
Yeah, that's what. Well, everything's so like perfection is displayed. Yeah. So like one little millisecond and you're fucked.
Yeah, and the drivers,
everything's down to that level.
Drivers have huge egos.
Oh yeah.
Huge egos.
Well, it's promoted.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but if you're in, I mean, like one tire hit another tire and you're dead. Those wrecks you can. It's not like NASCAR's a little bit safer, but Formula One, you're pretty open in that cockpit.
Yeah, it's
so
screwy.
You have to kind of be that type of. There's just people that are like more, like that Alex Hummel or whatever, where he doesn't have that fear thing that lights up in his head. When you get brain scan.
Well, it doesn't light up as much.
Yeah, I think you have that a little bit because you're pretty like you're not very fear based. I'm more fear based than you are.
I don't think I'm really scared of anything.
Yeah, see, that's
I mean that like honestly.
Yeah, I risk factor everything like risk assessment.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I do that.
I don't.
Like when I drive from today,
yeah.
I was like, okay, that guy's going to come over, and it's probably like a habit of worry, which is bad. But I'm always like risk assessing things, like what if, or what's going to happen in this scenario. And then preparing myself.
I think for me, it's like worst case scenario, I die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
What am I going to be fearful about? You know what I mean?
I just don't want to put myself in that position because I enjoy.
No, life. I don't. You don't think I enjoy life?
Yeah,
I fucking love it. But I'm just realistic with the fact, like, I don't know. Fucking the structure could fall on us or something.
But I think exactly. But I think there's people that are kind of more risk averse.
Oh yeah.
Because of the way that their brain is wired, maybe, and that could just be a past thing or whatever. I don't think it's any less or any greater than.
No, it's just.
If it turns into worry, like I have a problem with, then there's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Speaking of eliminating things.
Worry?
Yeah, eliminating worry. Let's talk about the law of elimination in our creation laws.
And to understand the law of elimination, you have to understand the law of one.
So let's explain the law of one.
Amongst
We've talked about this.
hundreds of episodes we have here on
Yeah,
the law of
a
one.
quick law of one
Okay, so
explanation.
everything is bound by the same laws. Okay? Oneness. We are all on one planet. Okay? We are all acting as one large group. We are in one cosmos. All right? Everything is unified, connected, inextricably interlinked. Simple as that. Law of one.
And nature shows us that.
Yeah, good.
Everything's connected.
And so when you do something to something else, it naturally, sometime sooner or later, comes back to you. Whether it be a thought or something physical, comes back. It's one, it's unified. That's what you get. Unity and then hyperunity. 1 + 1 = what?
This was funny.
One.
He's speaking about the cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to this spiritual guy on and he wrote the Untethered Soul book, really good book. But he was talking to somebody. He goes, all this law of attraction bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, do you really think you can think like 1 or 2 affirmations and you're going to attract all this shit? He goes, do you know how much negative shit your brain is talking to yourself?
All day. What are you
And he said
attracting
this, he
with
goes,
that?
the biggest bully you're ever going to face is your thought process.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, it tells you you have an ugly nose. It tells you you're fat. He goes,
You
you would
saying
never
something
let.
about me? Why did you go with the two
Well, I
things
have
that give
bad
me a
nose.
complex?
You're definitely skinny.
I'm
We both
allergic
have-
to weight, bro.
We both have like English noses.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so funny. We would never let a person talk to us that way.
No.
It's the most horrific person. Think about it. Like the stuff that your brain says to you about how of a piece of shit you are. Every day, they say the average person has like 70,000 thoughts or 50,000 thoughts, and 90% of them are negative.
Oh, my
So you
God.
literally have, and he's talking about this. It's so right. You literally have this big bully
Yeah.
that's hanging over you, telling them like, "Don't do that. Well, you're not good at that. You can't handle this.
Yeah.
You know, you're this, you're that." I mean, it nails you in every possible way, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Your mind will sit there and fuck you up.
All day.
Yeah, just beat the shit out of you.
If you let it.
Yeah, if
Or
you let it.
you can eliminate those thoughts
Mhm.
because those thoughts aren't unifying, correct?
Yes, you can law of elimination.
Ooh, law of elimination. So, what are we here on this planet in humanity?
Oh, what your law says, a unified whole.
We're a unified whole, okay? And now what happens when somebody is trying to destroy that unified whole?
It's removed from hyper oneness.
Great. Why do you think we put some people in
I
prison?
have the notes right here, guys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's how I'm getting the answers all right.
Why do you think we put some people in prison? Why do you think we remove people from the norms of society?
Well, one, who created the norms? That's one. And then number two, for the safety of society.
Why do we remove people from the unity of society? Is that better?
Yeah, because they went against, usually most of the time, they've gone against somebody's free will.
100%. So what do? Put them in their own state of isolation, eliminate them from the group, not like you have to kill them, but eliminate them from the group, and then let them deal with their own unity by themselves.
And we're going to get into the killing part here, the death
Yes.
penalty here in a little
Yeah,
bit.
we'll get into that in a second. Does that make sense so far? So you have I am one. One joins another one. You have hyper oneness. We have an episode on hyper oneness. Check it out. Pretty cool. 1 + 1 = 1. It's a fucking fact. Deal with it. That's the math. So if you remove them from the state of hyper oneness, so like the super unity, well, then you're still respecting the fact that there's a oneness with them, but you let them live in that oneness,
Yes.
not in a greater state of oneness. Is that fair?
Well, you have to, at some point when you have a group of people together and you have no laws,
Yeah.
then you have anarchy.
Yep.
So in a bad way, anarchy.
If they don't, if they don't understand these creational laws, and you just have a
Yes.
group,
And you're going to have, if you have 1,000 people, you're going to have one psychopath. That's just the nature of humanity.
It's probability.
And you're going to have, and if you have 1 million people, you're going to have one serial killer. And he's going to run around and go against people's free will.
But Jason,
You can't just let that happen.
what happens when our population just grows so large? We have more of those serial killers.
Well,
We
then
have
we,
more of those psychopaths.
well, then we have to say, okay, through creational laws, you've gone against someone's free will. So now we have to incorporate the law of elimination.
Great.
Not eliminating them as a person.
Isn't it so hard how English is just
Yes.
like
Elimination.
Yeah,
It's
eliminate.
like delete.
Yeah, it's just like poof,
Yeah, gone.
goodbye. So, say for instance, let's give an example here. Somebody does a murder. Okay, murder,
death, kill.
They correct. They go against someone's free will and take their life from them. They remove that other person's learning opportunity to continue to evolve on a path of service to self or service to others. Okay, do we see that framework so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so to be fair to them, you don't want to kill them in return because then you're stepping on their free will and you go against the law of free will, right? But you want to be equal in the fact of treating them and their injustice of doing whatever this thing is so that they can still be in a state of oneness, so you're concurrent with that, but remove them from the greater bond of society. You eliminate them from that aspect.
But there's a reason why you're removing them.
Yeah, you're removing them because they're creating a degenerative state of society that puts things at risk. So if
hurt people. So in their states, let's talk spiritually.
Yeah.
Not just laws. So in that state that they're doing, if they're willing to go against somebody's free will and hurt somebody,
yeah,
to the point of killing somebody, there's dis-ease inside of them.
100%.
So you have to remove the dis-ease out of this, or else it's going to be infectious.
What do doctors do when your arm goes gangrene?
Yeah, exactly.
Lop that shit off.
Yeah, you got to lop it off.
It gets removed. And where's it going? Into a toxic waste dump.
Yeah.
For human body parts. Those exist, right? And then they burn them and stuff like that. But that's what you have to do. There has to be an elimination or the physical separation. Mm-hmm. But when that separation occurs, there's still those two unified wholes, right?
But now we get into the part of, and I want us to understand this, that the law of elimination is not just banishing somebody out of society. There's a reason that you're doing it in hopes of, if I understand that person has a higher self.
Correct. You're doing great. I see where you're going. Yep.
You see where I'm going? Mm-hmm. And it's learn, teach, learn. Then there's a reason that we remove them for the safety of others.
Yes.
But in that process, to label them a criminal and put them in a jail cell and forget about them, throw away the key, or just pump them up with psych meds, mm-hmm. With this the prison industrial complex that we have, especially here in the United States, now we're doing a disservice to the person. And we're actually, as the victim becomes the victimizer, so we've actually gone against their free will.
Yep.
Because we're not doing what we should do is speak to their higher self. And you're like, Jason, a serial killer can... Now that person may be so gone mentally that they have to stay in a facility away from people. I'm like, I was watching that one or whatever where the guy's talking about like eating his mom and all that stuff. Obviously there's something wrong psychologically in his head.
There's a chemical imbalance.
But we still need to understand that we can't go against his free will. We can eliminate him from society, but the process always should be, even if it doesn't work in this lifetime for this person, and we can't say that because it's a higher self talking to another higher self, the process should always be restoration.
Always. And so our best course of action for these individuals, right, who do terrible injustices to other people, is to drop them off on an isolated island where it has all the resources for them to survive, but they're completely removed from society. Here's where you go. I'm not locking you in a cell. I'm putting you in a place where you can be responsible for yourself, your thoughts, and your survival.
Yep.
That is how you let those people learn. But the death penalty, what do? Go against their free will. Mm-hmm. Murder for murder is not tit for tat. Because you're, again, going against the free will. So if someone is murdering, you don't go back and then just like choose to murder them with the death penalty.
Right.
That is different, okay? Because that is different than someone breaking into your house, right? Or there is a terrorist group and they're actively shooting people and you need to shoot them to stop them. That's coming back to them with equal force. But the murderer is doing no more force. They're already locked up. Mm-hmm. Their free will's been taken away. They're in prison. And when you choose to just murder them through the death penalty, that goes against all the natural things in nature. But if you're stopping the force, if you're actually protecting life because of an event that's occurring, you need to like gun somebody down because they're killing in the masses.
100%.
Totally different scenario. That's the protection of life. That's arresting a force that is spiraling out of control.
Yeah, I watched the police officer kill that active shooter that was in the school. I don't know if you saw the video or not, but
nope.
And it was interesting to watch. And obviously, this person was probably in the military and highly trained. Great job in eliminating the threat to those kids in that school. But this person was disturbed. They walked in with a rifle and then started shooting everything. And I think they killed like 2 or 3 people, 3 or 4, something like that.
Sure.
And then a police officer went no hesitation, super badass, went straight to the threat. On his body cam, you could see him go straight to the threat, heard the gunshots, went straight to the threat, and then eliminated the threat.
It's completely different training. Most people run from that.
Yes.
And the people producing the threat aren't accustomed to it.
Yes, 100%.
It's totally unnatural because they think they're in a position of like power.
Well, it's self-preservation. Yeah.
And then there's this equal and opposing force that shows up.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
100%. So I thought it was really cool, and that was the first thing I thought of whenever I saw the video was like the protective aspect running to, and then meeting force with force. That's what I actually had thought of when I saw the video.
Yeah.
To eliminate it for the greater whole of society, to bring wellness and health.
And that's an appropriate use that is necessary for the protection and the survival, right? Law of protection, life preservation that is occurring here in society. But most murderers, a lot of them get caught. We don't always have to shoot them all.
Yeah, 100%. Right.
Many of them get caught and arrested after the fact. Okay, well then remove them from society.
Yes.
Go put them on that isolated line. Let them have their free will, but allow them to be self-responsible and hopefully learn from what they're doing.
Or putting them in some type of like the farming programs do really well.
Those are cool.
Yeah, those are really cool. As long as you don't get like the prison industrial complex getting involved. But
yeah.
Or they'll have like back in the old days they used to make license plates.
Oh yeah.
They have these jeans you can buy called Prison Blues. And there's this prison that makes these cool jeans.
Can you still get those?
I don't know. Look it up. Prison Blues jeans.
Oh, by the way, Untethered Soul was written by I don't fucking know.
Great dude.
Michael Singer.
Yeah, Michael Singer. You should look up stuff up on YouTube.
What'd you call those jeans? Prison what?
Prison Blues.
Prison Blues
jeans. I don't know if they still make them or not.
Yeah, they do, and they also make jackets.
Is this still done by prisoners?
It says quality American made. I love how the advertisement says American made.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
But, sitting in a jail cell rotting is not good. Working is a great use.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many
and rehabilitation. A lot of different countries have a way better approach than we do with this. Where like a drug user that didn't go against somebody's free will, that's not a murderer, they're not a criminal.
No.
They're just hurting.
Yeah, so why would you stick them in a place or with...
Or somebody that done, like a Bernie Madoff or, Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever. Obviously, there was a reason why he felt like he needed to, take shitloads of money and make shit up or whatever. That person we need to work on rehabilitating him.
Yeah.
Madoff, I think, did he kill himself in prison? Or I know some of his sons killed themselves.
Everybody's
horrific.
Yeah. Or the Clintons are doing it.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
I don't have to get into that. Okay, so...
Or any of the other politicians.
Yeah. So just think about things in perfect fairness, perfect balance, right? And then understand and really rummage through the thinking here for how the law of elimination, how you strike a balance with that.
Yeah, and I have somebody that went to prison.
Okay, why don't you
killed three. It was in gang.
Mm-hmm.
So they were shooting at each other.
Uh-huh.
And he in a period of time, he killed 3 gang members. So that's 3 humans.
Okay.
That he killed.
Okay.
He went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Went through the whole process, all that, whatever. Got out. I hired him as a lot attendant at a dealership to wash cars. And for 8 years or whatever, he did a great job. That's cool. And then he ended up marrying his wife, and then they moved. But he showed up at work and did his job.
Cool.
So, that was rehabilitation at some point seemed to work because he become productive society.
As long as he shoots no one else.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, he was fine. Plus the stories were awesome. Like not the shooting ones, but like the gang stories and stuff.
Yeah, it's gotta be crazy. It's gotta be absolutely crazy.
That lifestyle is just nuts.
Yeah. I would enjoy I got no tattoos or anything. I also can't grow facial hair. I don't have like a really tough looking face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was watching El Salvador and the crackdown they have on what is their it's not MI5, that's they have like some gang in El Salvador that's really ruthless.
You're
MSI or
no, yeah, oh
you know what I'm
talking
about. It's right there. But they have this super huge prison that they did. It holds hundreds of thousands of people, and they're just grabbing these guys like
MS5?
all these something like that with these tattoos all over their face and all the obviously gang members, and they're just grabbing them. Like the new El Salvador president, the guy that did Bitcoin. Yeah. He's like full bore going against these guys.
Clean it up.
Yeah, he's cleaning it up. Yeah, which is what you have to do.
Yeah,
if they're terrorizing a city, terrorizing a town.
It's like a garden. You got to pick the weeds out.
Yeah, exactly. I like your island thing, though. That would be interesting.
I think that's probably the best way to do it.
We can make it a reality show and film. No, but that's probably not a good idea. Could you imagine that? Like 200 prisoners just dropped off on an island.
Bye.
They would just be mayhem.
Just let them.
Yeah, that's up to them.
It's up to them. Now they're in their own little unified society. It's their choice.
Yeah, that would be
A lot of learning going on.
It'd be like Apocalypse Now.
I tell you what, I would not want to be dropped off on that island.
No.
No.
The odds of survival are.
As long as there's a 10-mile radius around the island from any other physical things, they wouldn't be able to swim to anything.
No, they wouldn't be able to.
No.
So, Law of Elimination.
You heard it
Next.
here first. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you for our next episode very soon.